So Kellyanne Maddox is of course doing self-love September, which I love because my birthday is in September, first of all, and second of all because it is alliteration, self-love September, which I am OCD in love with, and also I love self-love. I think it's amazing, and so I wanted to do a video tag that is I'm going to post to the web or to the email address that she said to send them to, because my story, while it may not be individual, like it's not the only one like this, it's mine, and I feel like everyone's story deserves to be told at some point, even if it's by themselves and not objective in any way. Alright, so I grew up, as I've said a million times, in a big Irish Catholic family. My dad was not super present, as in he did not get himself involved in the day-to-day of stuff, which is fine. So that meant my mom seemed a bit overbearing, and I think she was just trying to pick up slack, so to speak, for him. I was the oldest, grew up on the East Coast of the United States, whatever that kind of entails stereotypically. I don't know. I wasn't really good at the sports. Okay, I wasn't good at the sports that were available to me at the time, which was softball and soccer. And I'm not good at either of those things. I valued education, I valued intelligence and knowledge, and that just wasn't a big deal for the people around me growing up. I was overweight. I chose to be a vegetarian at the age of 5, but nobody ever told me about carbs. So I ate a lot of potatoes, ate a lot of corn-based stuff. So I gained a lot of weight. I was a big kid, big teenager, big adult, so to speak. And I was very hampered by trying to impress both friends, male and female, and then by impressing potential like boyfriends, whatever, by high school, college age. I kind of got out of that a little bit in college and started to try to find myself a bit. Learning was like a big deal there. It was college. I mean, what else were you going to do? But so was partying, and I like that. I made a lot of really awesome friends, found feminism. It was my first go around with the craft when I was in college for a little while. I was still hampered by the way dudes thought of me, by the guys thought of me, boyfriend, whoever he was at the time. But you know what? I would consider college some of the best times of my life. I couldn't get a job after college, though, and I blamed my weight at the time, as opposed to the poor economic conditions or the field that I chose and the lack of experience that I had. I mean, I had education, but I didn't have experience. You do one internship, that's it. That's not enough. I met my husband shortly after graduating. We dated for a few years. We got married, had kids. I lost my brother, I lost my grandmother. They, passed away. And in all of that, in the getting married and the losing the people close to me and having kids, I feel like I lost myself. I was a shell of a person. And to boot, I put on the good face. I put on the happy front face for people to be like, oh, she has the perfect little family, the perfect little existence, blah, blah, blah. I quit working after I had my first son. I had pretty severe postpartum depression, and that prompted, and I'm not excusing him in any way, but that prompted some pretty ugly comments by my husband about how I was saddling him with all the financial burden, but I just couldn't. You feel like you're sunk into your seat and the baby cries and you take care of the baby, but you just feel like you're sunk in. You're treading water. You're sinking in mud all the time when you have that problem, with that condition. And I had it for pretty much 6 years because I had one baby right after the other, 2.5 years apart. And 2.5 years is just about when I was starting to feel like coming out of it. Then I had another baby, and then it was another couple of more, 3 more years after that. So while I was pregnant with my second son, my best friend was playing roller derby in the big city near where we lived, where I lived, whatever. So I went to go watch a game. So as a fan for a few years, I would go see her games a couple of times a year and just sit there and love loved that. Once my kids started to get older, I could start reading again. I was starting to find myself again in my nerdiness and my Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Indiana Jones and all the things that I love, the Marvel series, and just anything I could read, because, you know, I didn't want to sit around all day with the TV on with little kids. That's not healthy. So while I was not working, I did gain more weight. I was over 300 pounds, which was the heaviest that I had ever been. And I couldn't. And not to mention the fact that while I was pregnant with my second son, I had a blood clot in my leg that almost went to my heart. If they had not intervened, I might have died in childbirth. Like, it was 2009. Are you serious? And you're going to die in childbirth? I know it still happens, but I didn't want to be part of that statistic necessarily. So I talked to my doctor about it, and she's like, have you ever thought of weight loss surgery? And I'm like, well, I'm not 900 pounds. I'm not like the people you see on TV that get that. And she's like, call your insurance company. So I did that to save my life, basically, because it was a struggle to get up the steps, carrying a laundry basket, carrying a baby. I just always felt like I never wanted to be that mom that had to sit in the car because their kids were embarrassed of them. I was not that, but I had cousins and friends that were like that. They were embarrassed of their mom's size or appearance, and I just never wanted to be that mom. Because at the time, I was still just so focused on my kids and my family that I didn't consider my own self at the time. So then I got weight loss surgery. I got the lap band surgery. I only lost about 25 pounds in the first maybe year and a half. And it was I was so upset and so stressed out. I went through all these different problems, you know, series of things with the doctor about, why am I not losing weight? He's like, I'm like, do I need to exercise? No, you don't need to do that. That'll send your body into some kind of weird thing. So then a couple years in, I was like, screw this. And I was like, I'm not going to sit around and wait. So I decided to get a master's degree. Yeah, I know. Some days you just decide to get a master's degree. So I applied. I got accepted, got my financial aid, and I started. And partway through that, I wanted to do an internship because I wanted to teach college. So I got an internship at the local community college with one of the instructors who's going to just kind of party with me. And then 2 days before I was set to start this internship, I got a phone call from the head of the department saying, hey, I know you're going to do this internship, but do you want to teach some classes? Okay. So I was teaching public speaking 2 days later, and that's fine because I took it. I had a lot of that with my radio background and things like that, so it wasn't a huge deal for me. I was nervous, obviously, but I was up and around campus, but I still wasn't losing any weight. So then I was like, you know what? I need to do something. I'm going to join a gym. Nobody's telling you what to do at a gym, so I'm not just going to make myself do push-ups. I'm not going to do that. I don't have that kind of like brain. I don't have that brain, and it's from years of low self-esteem and lack of motivation of any kind for anything. So I needed someone to tell me what to do. So I was like, okay, I'm going to find a trainer. Whoa. Super way too expensive for what I was making at the time and what my husband and I were making and making up for what I didn't work. Because we did have a lot of credit card situations from when I wasn't working. So then I thought, you know what? Maybe I should play a sport or something. Get into Zumba or something where they're telling you what to do. Again, Zumba, super effing expensive. And I just couldn't see taking food out of people's mouths and my own just for this vanity problem. At the time, I saw it as vanity. So then I was like, wonder if there's roller derby around here. So I searched my, the area that I live in and roller derby, and sure enough, there was one right in my backyard. It was small. There were only 2 people at the time, and they were like looking for people to go through boot camp. So I went through boot camp. I was clinging to the walls. I hadn't skated in 20 years. And I was terrified. I fell a lot. I cried a lot to myself. I never did in front of anybody. Maybe my husband saw me on the way back in. But I persevered, and that was in January of 2013 that I started that. And I'm still skating today, still playing today. But the skating is fine. The weight loss is fine. But what roller derby really did for me was give me the self-love back that I just never had. I know my husband loves me. I know my kids love me. But I don't know what it is about me. They need me too much physically for my liking. My husband needs to cuddle with someone at night, and I'm not like that. It drives me nuts when he throws the arm over me at night and rakes me over, and I'm like, ugh. They need to touch me too much. And I don't know if that's a little bit of Asperger's or something like my oldest son has or something, but even when my kids talk to me, I can be standing there doing the dishes and it's Mom. It's not, Mom, can I ask you a question? They always, people, I don't understand why people are always touching me. And while one of the tenets of roller derby is to touch your own players, you get to hit the ones that are not supposed to be touching you. So I get to hit people off of me if I don't want them to touch me, which I love. But what I was getting at before is my family, whoever in my personal life, I feel like they need me physically, like touching too much for my comfort zone. I've let them know this, but when your kid wants to hug you, you let them hug you. That's just the way it is. In roller derby, my team needs me for a different reason. They don't need me for being the person to touch. They need me for what I can do. They need me for who I am. I growl at people. I wear face, face, but you can probably see in my, picture, what do you call it, profile picture on YouTube. I wear the scary black face paint. I growl when I'm on the, when I hit people and stuff like that. They need me for what I can do. They need me for my knowledge of the game. They need me for my experience. And that helped me realize that I had knowledge of the game. And I had experience. And I can do stuff with basically my butt on skates that other people can't. And then it confuses the other team. I can hit really hard with this shoulder in particular. And it really would take you down. And somebody can hit me from the side, and I'm just like, nope, I don't move all that easily. You hit me from the back, that's illegal. I will move, and I will fall, and I will flail, and I will get you that penalty for you because you hit me in the back. Anyway, so something, I do still have, little twinges of guilt about going to roller derby. It's twice a week for 2 hours a night, minimum. Then there's fundraisers, and there's meetings, and then there's games. There's away games where we travel 4 hours away. Sometimes we spend the night. There's conventions and things like that where I might be gone for a couple days at a time. My husband watches the boys, which is cool. But you know what? He does stuff too. He goes to out-of-town football games. He goes to out-of-town baseball games. He goes to Hall of Fames with his friends. So it's not like I'm the only one doing all this stuff. But I do have twinges of guilt. My husband sometimes accuses me of being selfish and taking time away from, family, kids, housework, whatever. But I always come at him with self-love is not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. And that's what roller derby is for me. Roller derby is what sparked my resurgence of my self-love and allowed me to become a better mother, a better wife, a better coworker, a better employee, a better witch. When I came to roller derby is when I came back to the craft. It's when I was like, F this. I don't have to drag my kids to church because my mom wants me to. If I want to let them have Sunday outside because it's nice, we're going to do that shit. We're going to do it. We're going to go jump on the trampoline. We're going to swing. We're going to go to the park. We're going to go to the beach. I don't have to be there just because it makes my mom upset if I'm not. It made me myself again. I feel like the person I thought, I'm not quite the person I thought I would be, but in my magical dreams of myself as a child and a teenager and a college age person, but I'm pretty close. Probably as close as I'm gonna get for a while. And it made me, just the experience, the people, the support, the rampant just hell yeah feminism, even from the girliest of girls or the person you think is going to be shy and quiet is just like, no, he doesn't do that to us. We have a creeper. We call him a creeper. Bro, do you even with the not enough memory on the card? Anyway, we have a creeper. He comes to everything. He supports our games. Like I said, I think he's a little different, a little special, which we 100% accept, but he is inappropriate with some of our skaters. And we don't rely on husbands and boyfriends and coaches and stuff to handle letting him know that. We all kind of take a hand in that. And at the end of the day, I think he gets it. He still comes. And if there's a new person that he thinks that maybe he can talk to in the way that he used to talk to all of us, he might try. But we've let everyone know ahead of time, hey, there's a guy. So anyway, back to how it makes us feel. Makes me feel anyway. It just is empowering. It, as if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm a Morgan, daughter of the Morgan, and it gives me my warrior time. The Morgan is a death goddess, a love goddess, a warrior goddess, a sorcery goddess. She's okay. Well, I shouldn't be describing her because to me she's everything. But she gives me that warrior aspect that I don't get anywhere else in life. I have a mundane job, and it's mundane for even mundane. I don't have a ton of other excitement in my life necessarily, but roller derby is it for me, and it helps me to bring that boom, that warrior, the thing, the war paint, and I usually write something on my knuckles, an intention on my knuckles. I do my sigils in between my wrist guard and my elbow pad on each arm, and people just look at me like, what the actual fuck is she doing with herself right now? But it's all my self-empowerment. It's all my witchiness. It's devotion. Like I have a game this Saturday, and I'm so, I cannot wait to sit there. It's almost like it's a ritual in itself, but it's me even just taking a damn Sharpie and drawing that sigil on my arm. It's like carving your intention into your body for that game without the blood, without all the blood, because I don't need all that. They won't let you on the track if you're bleeding. You know, it's a danger. Sure, why not? So for me, roller derby, it gives me that power that I've never felt in my life, whether it's because I didn't take it, or it wasn't given to me, or wasn't allowed to take it, so to speak. And I just I appreciate it. For me, roller derby is self-love. Roller derby is self-care. Roller derby is self for me. And I know someday I won't be able to play anymore, which, God, dagger in the heart when that happens, but I'll be a referee after that. And then I'll be an announcer after that. And when they're tired of my voice, I'll be an NSO. And when they're tired of my handwriting on the scoreboard, I will be a fan. I'll be a fan for life. And I just, if there's anybody out there looking for something and you need to boost yourself up and you don't mind spending $100 and something on skates and gear and things like that, actually might be a little bit more expensive. I got a lot of my original stuff used. So, yeah, so just self-love, roller derby, that's it for me. That's kind of why I'm Roller Derby Witch here on YouTube. So anyway, that's my self-love September entry. Thanks for watching.